Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and welcome to the Gems of War campaign. Oh wait, did I accidentally copy the campaign one? Whoops. It is Journey Event. It's Journey Event. Wait, why did I copy the wrong one? I guess it's still technically campaign week thing. Oh no, I guess the thumbnail's like that, but the other things like that. I guess that works, never mind. But either way it works. But yeah, the second day of Journey, the almost last day of campaign. Or at least the second week of day 9, or week 9, day 2. But anyways, in other news, we got version 6.75 today. What did that do? I have no clue. It just came out several minutes ago, somewhere around there. I know it just downloaded right now for me. But, yeah, what did it do? I have no clue. Obviously, it ended, like, the Christmas stuff. Did it do anything beyond that? I don't know, because there's still no patch notes. I checked the patch notes section. I checked the forum section. And there's currently no information on this patch. Sumo Blade did almost nothing, as you'd kind of expect from this patch. However, I cannot confirm, as I have not seen the patch notes yet. Maybe there just isn't any. Anyways, so yeah, it mostly just ended all the Christmas stuff, and probably also made it possible for next week's event to happen. The one in 5 days, 5 hours from now. But aside from that, the major patch that we're going to be getting is, I believe it was, what, late next month? I believe it was? Like, early March, late February. So we'll have to look forward to that, as that will be the first major patch of the year. This was mostly just one trying to end all the Christmas stuff. Anyways, so, main thing we have going on today, we're probably going to be finishing up most rest of the journey events, and by that I mean quite literally, because once we finish our battles, that's probably all the battles I have to do for the event, because the guild will have the rest in, as we do have some people going for leaderboard, and by leaderboard I mean getting 20,000 for the achievement. So, with them doing that, we're going to get a lot of points, and should probably have it done by tomorrow. So I guess we'll start here, as that is the main thing that's going on this week. Good old journey event. Of course, we do have the class event, which we will be or not class event, I mean faction event, which we'll be getting to in a little bit. We did just finally cover the weekly video a little late, but it was up about an hour ago, hour, 2 hours, somewhere around there. And we just posted that pretty much before the stream. I was not able to stream midday today, though. Though we will be on Thursday. We'll do the, we'll finish Hollow Knight tomorrow, and then we'll do Fall Guys on Thursday. But anyways, that's not what I want, though we will be doing that faction. Let's go finish out Journey. So let's use every last sigil we have, and that's probably going to be the last we'll ever need to do for Journey this week. As by that point, the rest of the guild will have it done. We already have the achievement, so we don't need to worry about it from there. Anyways, hope you guys have been having a wonderful week so far. Hello, hello Bill, hello Lester, hello Dwight, hello Ricardo, hello Imperial, hello Roman, hello Mr. Jesse, hello Tyrion. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they just removed the holiday stuff. It seems to be the entirety of the update, especially since there's no patch notes yet. Hello Jason, hello Roman, hello Ricardo, hello Logic Slayer, hello Emanator, hello Cookie, hello Lester, hello Supernova, hello Demidora, and hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so right after that, let's get some mana. Of course, we're using the same build as before. Basically, we're just trying to get double Weaver up and then obliterating them with Weavers. It's pretty much the game plan here. Get all of our Weaver mana, Weaver, 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 and then just win. So throw down a Weaver, so we could then throw down a Weaver, so we could then throw down a Weaver. And that is pretty much our entire strategy going forward for these. And just keep cycling Weaver until we win. This would theoretically eventually fall off, but for all intents and purposes, it's going to be fine. As we're not going particularly deep. And one of the main adjustments you might need to make if you are going like super, super deep, like trying to get the achievement, is you might need to go barrier first slots. Like barrier on brown first slot. Which is going to make the troop a little bit harder to use, but it'll end up making it so you don't die. Which is important. So we're going to Weaver, Weaver, and then guess what? Weaver. I'm not sure why I always clicked off it. We would have won regardless. Did you see that there's a new world record team for Explore 12? Is there? Interesting. Was it like a per hour farming team or quickest time team? Because sometimes the world record one that gets set is with a team you wouldn't actually farm with. I can go check it though. I haven't checked the speedrunning website in ages. I do watch speedruns every now and then though. Not recently much. Okay, we're gonna have full mana guaranteed next turn. We'll go for that. I can go check it real quick. The problem with a lot of those teams is they tend to be like one-off quick teams rather than something that you can use for hourly farming. Because its max speed is higher, but its consistent speed is lower. Meaning you wouldn't necessarily farm with it. Because the strategy for winning quickly once is not necessarily the strategy for winning quickly over the course of an hour. I know before it was Skyla based, because you need to get lucky off of the Skullstorm thing. I'll go check it though. Let's see, speedrun. Just on speedrun.com, right? Let's see. What's it even called? Speedrun. Let me just type in speedrun. This should bring up the website if I can even do it correctly. Yeah, speedrun.com. That's what I thought. Let's see, Gems of War. Yes, Gems of War. Where is it? Exploration 12, iOS, 6 days ago. 2 days ago, interesting. Assumably both using the same team. 1 minute, 31 seconds. Really? That quick? It seems absurdly quick. What team is this? Let's see. Will it load or will it crash my thing? Loading, loading, loading. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, it's using double Gem Dragon? That's funny. Well, I don't have Gem Dragon though. That's funny. Yeah, that would explain it. It's literally just 50% mana start into double Gem Dragon. My only thing is, why is he blocking first slot? That's the only thing I don't understand here. He's using the 50% mana start dragon, but it's being used in front of the multicolored dragon. Wouldn't it make sense to have the two 6-color dragons in first and second slot? Because you're not casting the other thing. I don't understand the order of this team. Because shouldn't it be double Gem Dragon, the 50% mana starter, and then Leprechaun? Because the Leprechaun's in the right space. I just don't understand the point of that other one being in first slot. I guess so it doesn't die? But still. Yeah, we need the Gem Dragon already. We haven't gotten lucky. So we haven't been able to get it. I assume this one's the same build, just done slower on console. Yeah, it is. Why is everyone using it in first slot? Is there some kind of strategy here I'm not understanding? Like, other than frontline tanking with it to make sure your first one doesn't die, or you know your Gem Dragon doesn't die, doesn't that just make your team slower? You tried that team, you know why he does it. Is it mostly just to tank? Essentia, if you drop it, you lose Doomstorm. It is Yellow Storm. Oh, wait, is it Storm Order? Oh, yeah, it is Storm Order, isn't it? Oh, that makes sense. I forgot it has Yellow Storm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I know why it's in first slot now. Wait. No, that makes anti-sense then. Wait. Oh, no. Because, yeah, you would want to have the Doomstorm instead of... Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. Because Essentia has Yellow Storm, but instead you want to have the Bone Storm. It's one of the reasons why Skyla was used. Summons a Bone Storm at start of battle, and Skyla was actually used for if I can get to it. Skyla. Wait. Oh, I'm under unknown. No wonder why. But Skyla was used because it had that perpetual Bone Storm. But yeah, it's using it for that purpose. Interesting. Because you don't necessarily benefit from something that's using 6 colors if you're already using every color, so you don't need a color storm. So it's more beneficial to have a Skull Storm. So Essenzia's ran in first slot so that you can get lucky off the Skull Storm. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's mostly because of Storm conflict. If there was a way to disable... it's one of those situations where a trait on a troop makes it weaker, not stronger. Basically, Essenzia's Yellow Storm you don't want. And there's no way to disable this trait. And they mentioned they're probably never going to add a way to disable traits like that. So, in order to not have Yellow Storm, you have to put it in first slot so that you have Bone Storm. Though you could still switch the order, though. You could still go Gem Dragon, Essentia, Gem Dragon. Because that does two things. It doesn't block you initially, but it also gives you the little bit extra mana. So if you need like that multicast. But I guess they're also using it for frontline tank just in case they get unlucky on skulls. Because Essentia in first slots dying means nothing, whereas when your Gem Dragon dying could potentially slow you down. But so does blocking your mana by 14. I don't know, I'll have to test it once we have it. It's going to be a while before we have that many Gem Dragons, though. But nice to see it is broken beyond belief. Oh, we got a verse today. It's not one I need. Let me go grab it while we're here. Let's see. Where's my Phoenicia? Let's go back to the journey event. There it is. Magnesia. Yeah, you need a Skull Storm for damage boost, more so than the skulls themselves. Which is kind of funny compared to the Skyla Zul'Goth team. Because Skyla Zul'Goth wants Skull Storm because you end up getting skulls to kill everything quicker. However, the reason for Skull Storm on a Diamantia team is for boost ratio, not necessarily for the skulls themselves. But yeah, we'll eventually have Gem Dragon. Sometime as soon as we get that dragon drop. We've been absurdly unlucky with it so far. We are 20 dragons in and have not gotten it yet. We're almost double over odds. And like double over average odds. If you consider the actual odds, or you know, like a 1 in 6, we're actually like triple over odds. Almost quad over odds. But if you take the actual statistical average, we're almost double over odds the statistical average, which is very unfortunate. Oh yeah, we still need to go get those crowns. We'll worry about that later though. Got a lot of events this week. We still have everything going on with Zul'Kari. Mentioned that in the video too, but yeah, like everything that could possibly be happening is happening. We have all the kingdom stuff happening this week for it. Literally a kingdom event going on. Do keep in mind a lot of this stuff isn't in drop table though. But we have Legends Reborn going on for it. We have a campaign going on for it, or not campaign, but a kingdom pass. I mean, so many things I don't even know all their names. There we go. Have you tested the dragon in Vault to see if she does a quick kill there? Which dragon? Well, I don't have Diamantia yet, so I can't test it anywhere yet. Soon TM we can. Probably next month or two we'll hopefully have it. It really comes down to how many Vault events are they going to do soon, and is next patch actually going to be adjusting like the capability of targeting it directly? Because we have gotten so many repeat copies at this point. Like we have 5 of 3 of the dragons now, and still haven't gotten the brown one. I just realized I didn't get a water for this stream. I am waterless. Oh no. Oh, let's throw that down. It gets the kill range. Basically I have to double then win. Which should be easy enough. It also brings it to Weaver range, so we can just Weaver boom, and a smash. Quite literally boom, since we're exploding almost the entire board. 15 explodes, not guaranteed to be the entire board, but you're definitely going to get a lot of value from it, that's for sure. Well, you can't really go Mizmer because you need mana accumulation. Because the 50% dragon is there because, you know, it gives a lot of mana because of how big its mana pool is. And then Leprechaun is there because it's very consistent, click immediately for mana. And it doesn't have the Throw issue where you have to worry about its exact, you know, you have to worry about like getting the initial mana. But in the case of that, you don't have to worry about that, luckily. This is automatically has its mana. So you never have the RNG at the beginning of a board of if you need to get mana or not. Oh, you meant for Explore 10? Oh. Wait, can Andrew reach one-shot at Explore 10? Interesting. That is interesting. Is it even worth spamming Explore 10, though? Because I'm pretty sure if you already have the build, it is quicker just to spam Explore 12 than it is to do Explore 10. Even if you can one-shot Explore 10. Yeah, I'll definitely need to make sure we save some metal so we can go max it out. I currently have one set saved. So I think theoretically we could actually upgrade like 3 mythics right now. between everything we have. As far as the actual gold medals, we really need more of those gold medals. We got really lucky with them initially, but now we've been getting average luck, and definitely use some more. Also, why did I do that? You needed one more mana. Should have gotten it before I did that. What is the primary color of Zolkari? Purple or green? What do you mean by primary color? Oh, it's a green faction. I mean, a green kingdom, I mean. Yeah, it's green-purple, but its primary is green. Oh, wait, is this event actually giving us purple books? I didn't even notice that. It is kind of weird, because normally it gives it corresponding to the kingdom. And of course, it's a green kingdom. Is it actually giving us purple books instead? In all fairness, purple books are actually more useful than green books, so that's not really too big a deal. But yeah, the primary color is technically purple. I mean, technically green, I mean. Is that the case? I wasn't even paying attention to that when I was looking at the journey rewards. Yeah, it is purple. That's not too big a deal because purple's better. But, yeah, the actual color of Zolkari is green. Because if you want to upgrade Zolkari, you need green, green scrolls. Like if we go over here, it's, not there. If we go over here, it's green. Green, green, green. But, yeah, that's weird. I didn't even notice that. But yeah, it's giving us purple instead of green. Which, can't really complain because purple's better than green. So, that's actually a beneficial mistake on their part. Yeah, I never noticed that. Because normally it corresponds to, I guess not always. Yeah, normally it corresponds to what the troop is, the troop's kingdom. And of course it's a Zolkari troop. Which means it should actually be green. I guess they made it purple because that's also the gemic rates. But it could also just made it spam green. I know, it's kind of weird. Wait, how did that not kill? Oh, spell reduction. I was like, wait, that wasn't damage range. Yeah, I got confused on that too. Because it looks like a purple icon, but you have to kill green. Like this one right here. Like everything about it in every menu looks like it's purple. But it's actually kill greens. Oh, why did I not take that? Whoops. Anything new in this patch? From my understanding, no. I believe it just undid all the Christmas stuff. We're not getting the first major patch this year until late February, early March. Which is normally when it comes most years. I'll go double check, but I don't believe they added, a thing. Let me see. Because last I checked, there was no patch notes yet. Nope, no patch notes. Assumably it's such a small patch that they're not even going to post patch notes. So they normally make it like a small forum post at least. Like, hey, we did an update thing. Hey, even the devs are confused about Zolkari. Also, I wonder if the patch that we're supposed to be getting... Oh no, the Valraven might escape. It did. Luckily, I don't need those battles, so that's fine. But I wonder if this Zolkari event and the whole month of Zolkari was originally supposed to be around the time of the major patch. Because next patch seems like it's going to be, like, maybe treasure hunt related and, like, treasure related. And that's very associated to Zolkari. So I wonder if the patch that they have coming next, you know, not the one that happened today, but the one that's going to be hitting the first major patch this year, in about a month or two. Probably in about a month. Like, that patch, about a month and a half. But that patch, I wonder if that was originally planned to be during the Zolkari event, like, you know, almost like right now. Because almost everything about it seems like it's going to be based on, like, treasure maps and treasures and stuff like that, especially based on its name. So it almost seemed like they were originally going to do them side by side, but then had to delay the patch. a couple months. Because it would have been perfect synergy. Do I go for... Yeah, we do. Because then we could just double. The journey is purple because the Kingdom Pass is green. That's true. That is true. We do get the other color from here. Because we get all the greens here. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because we're already getting green from here. So they didn't want to double up on green, so they went green-purple. To color both the colors. Yeah, looking at it that way, I guess that makes sense. Excuse me. Also, we're going to get quite a bit of miles from this. We're, of course, not trying to hit any kind of milestone, specifically. But we are going to reach a sizable amount, like almost 5,000 from these battles, or somewhere around there. Yeah, we'll take that one down. I know, first time actually lost a troop. Luckily, we have a backup plan. It's called resummon a billion times. Who wants a strawberry frosty from Wendy's? They don't have strawberry frosty anymore. They replaced it with peppermint. Which is kind of funny because it actually still looks like the strawberry one. But yeah, the Wendy's by me is so awful. Like, the amount of times they mess up and other things. Like, the last time I was there, they literally had to call the police on one of their employees. That is how bad the Wendy's by me is. That their own employees had to call a police on one of the other employees. It is that bad of a Wendy's. And I'm not even joking. That was the situation the last time I got there. I mentioned it, when was it? Like mid-December? Whenever last time I was there. But they literally, like, I saw two police coming in and it was like, oh, I thought they might just been here because, you know, they're on lunch break. Because it was around that time. But, nope. Literally, employees calling police on other employees. Let's see, we'll take that one over. Oh, why'd I do that on you? I really meant to target down first slot. Shouldn't matter much, though. Chen Tang finally gets power 20 on Monday, does it? Ooh, that'd be an extra stat if it does. I believe so, wouldn't it? If it's getting a troop, then it should. Because I believe it's only one off. It's only one troop off from 20. And that would be an extra armor? HP? HP. Honestly, HP almost seems worse than armor these days. Theoretically, if you're basing the actual value of 1 HP compared to 1 armor without any other context, 1 HP is better. However, if you're putting into consideration how many things have a good armor boost ratio that are actually used in the current state of game, compared to things that use HP offensively. And armor is actually a more offensive option than HP. But HP is better at surviving. Even though they both give you 1 durability, HP, you know, works against true damage and everything like that. So it is normally better to have 1 HP than 1 armor from a not dying perspective. But from a things that can potentially do damage off of it, there are more things that can boost ratio from armor than that which can boost ratio off of HP. So HP is almost the worst stat now. Even though technically it's armor. It really just depends on the context. Because if you're comparing it to like Guard's Avatar and Rowan, things that you might use for quick kill stuff on a regular basis, like those benefit more from armor than HP. But like every other troop in the entire game benefits more from HP than armor. I need 1 more mana there. Oh, how are you not dead? Oh, did he gain barrier when I wasn't looking? Because you couldn't have dodged my spell damage. That's not a thing. You can only dodge skulls, not spell damage. Oh, we're almost there. But you know what? Let's go claim all the loot. All but the last one. Look at all that loot. Oh, it even comes with writs? I never realized that. Nice. Bunch of gems, some scrolls, some Imperials. A lot of deed material. So we have 5 deeds right there, or half an Imperial, depending on how you look at it. We have 6 colored deeds. We have 3 Imperials themselves. And of course, all the way at the end, the juicy double deed book, which we'll have by tomorrow night. As I highly doubt my guild will get there in the next half an hour. Alright, let's see. But that will be still pretty quick. That means we'd have it done by Wednesday. I'm pretty sure some guilds already have it done if most of their guilds going for leaderboard. Because the more people you have trying to get to 20,000 achievement, the quicker you're going to get it done. You literally have had it done on Monday if almost your whole guild's going for it. And we're starting to get to the point where this build is slightly less than desirable. But hey, it's still working. It will eventually reach a point where we need so many casts of Weaver where it's not worth using anymore. Luckily, if you went like the tier 3, tier 4 route, you'll probably have all the points for your guild before that matters. Though there is a chance once you get super deep, you might have to adjust your team slightly. Particularly like a Barrier on Brown Hero class to tank it. Because eventually they're going to 2-shot you. Or if you go deep enough, maybe even 1-shot you. But you will definitely get to the point where they can 2-shot you. At which point you would definitely need to consider a tankier thing in first slot. Luckily this thing has 20% dodge, but you can't depend on that to not die. As there will be the unlucky times where it never dodges. Alright, we'll throw that down. Also, why are all the Val Ravens appearing in first slot? They're appearing in the exact location I have no capability of killing them. Guess we just keep poking them with that. Also, we're almost getting to the point where Double Weaver will not get a kill. It's a little deeper and I'll stop killing. Or sure there's another small true damage poke we could do. Technically there's that one blue-purple guy, but then we'd have to get rid of all of our purple extra. Actually, no we wouldn't. Because I'm using... Oh yeah, I am using Archmagus. Yeah, we would be getting rid of our purple extra. Though we would be getting the elf bonus. It's something to consider. Because when you use that one blue-purple guy, he doesn't need that much mana. He throws down a mana poke, or, you know, a small poke on them. With that, you then have kill range off of Weaver. Oh, not if they have stealthy, though, like this battle. There's our daily gems. Small amount, but they add up. Also, we're about to get some extra glory here. It's normally not worth taking your room based on that. But you can get some extra resources when you click on them. As well as extra stats. These are pretty ignorable. You might as well just take the higher value every single time. But they are something that can technically influence your pathing if you so choose. I just don't feel like they're worthwhile enough to bother going out of your way for. Alright, this will be the first time we do have to go for more than 2 casts. Which is far from ideal. Maybe we'll replace Hero with something that can make that slightly more consistent. Now we're getting some souls. I don't remember how much you actually get, but I remember it being a small enough amount that it's not worth it to go out of your way for. Like, I think a faction room gave more loot than one of these things. Because if I had to guess, I think it's like 100 souls or something. I remember it being a small enough number where it was so minuscule that you would just ignore it. I cannot remember the exact number. It's nearly equivalent of just taking a faction room. Which is a very small amount of loot. Oh, 1 HP. Let me see, how much did we get here? Yeah, it was exactly 100. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's such a small amount. And the glory probably gave us like, what, 10, 20? It's literally like less than a faction room. Like, you have 3 times boost ratio going into, like, a mid-range soul room, and you're already getting more souls than that from a single faction room. You finally got Magma Dragon? Nice. Congrats, Maximus. Very good pickup. But yeah, Phoenicia Magma Dragon is pretty fun combo. Has a good double storm synergy. I wish there was more ways to use double storm. Relative to how many total doubles there are almost 0 double storms in the game. I think there's like 4 or 5 different ones, which is pretty small compared to the total number of combinations available. It's something that obviously over time will be added, but very minimal ways to do it currently. But most of the ones available are pretty strong. It's just sometimes they're tied to a weak troop, which makes them a lot weaker. Like, even if the double storm is good, it might be tied to something that's bad, which can also affect it greatly. Because Magma Dragon's actually one of the double storm troops that, what it actually does is decent. Like, not necessarily the storm, but the actual troop itself. Because a lot of the double storms, like blue-purple on Loraza, like, she's such a useless troop that's almost never used. Not that blue-purple storm is necessarily bad, but her herself is bad, so you pretty much never use blue-purple storm. Which actually one interesting thing about the mythic we just got too, the one we were messing with last night. We probably won't be tonight, but maybe a little bit more tomorrow. We'll mess around with it again. But the one from the campaign pass, this one actually has blue-purple storm at start, but this one also doesn't use it that well. This troop is actually good, but the problem is it doesn't need blue-purple storm. It needs brown storm. It needs brown storm, or technically curse storm if that was to ever exist. But it needs to put brown on the board so that it has a higher chance of extra turning. It does not need blue-purple storm. So you generally actually want to overwrite its storm in many situations. Because you don't actually want to have a blue-purple storm when using it. Which is yet another thing that has blue-purple that doesn't get to use blue-purple. In that case, not because the troop is weak, but because it doesn't need it. Let's go do our last 5 battles for these. Then we'll go hand out a redeem code, clear out the dailies, and then probably mess with faction for the rest of the time. We'll go get our orbs. Is the campaign pass worth it? Campaign, yes. Kingdom, not so much. I feel like the value in Kingdom Pass, especially when it's for an already existing kingdom, is not particularly good. There's some value in it, but it's definitely not as good as a campaign pass. I would say campaign pass is always worth it every time, though. It gives a very wide range of loot. It's actually even doable right now. Like, if you're buying the campaign pass right now and you barely played like the other 9 weeks, it is still possible to get it done in the next week and a half. It's technically possible to do them all in a single day. Like, we stream it at the beginning of every single week like we did last night, and it takes like roughly half an hour. So theoretically, if you did all 10 at once, you could do it in under 10 hours. So it's doable in a single day. And unlike some games where once the week expires, you can no longer do the tasks, in Gems of War, you can do them whenever. You can do them all in the 10th week if you really wanted to. It's more efficient to not do it that way. But you theoretically could wait all the way till the end and then do them all at once. It's not advised because you could just re-roll them anyways and get a passive task that can be automatically done. Yeah, you got on week 6, so you're still behind. It's still doable to get it all done, though. If nothing else, just use to repick a lot. If it seems like the task is going to take too long, just repick it, and it's probably going to be something quicker. Or something that you can be done passively that you can do with other things. It's one of the better quality of lives they ever added to it. The feature didn't always exist. But they basically added a way about a year ago, year and a half, where you can do one free repick on every single task, which allows you to re-roll it into something way quicker. Oh, I was about to take that. This is the closest we've gotten to almost losing. We're not going to. But I got slightly close. So what does this thing even do? I don't remember. Deal a bunch of damage to elemental stars. Oh, if the enemy dies. No, it's not going to die. This will kill it, though. You've been grinding the game pretty hard again. Yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I still really enjoy Gems of War. It's a really good slow grind game. Yeah, I definitely love grindy games. But Gems of War pacing is pretty nice. Like, I don't feel like it ever gets, like, too overwhelming. Or, like, what it expects per day or per week or per month. While still being pretty satisfying to farm. I'll throw that down. I do wish we got a bit more major updates, though. Per year, we generally only get, like, 4 to 5, like, super big patches. With the first one planned for late February, early March. Oh, that's funny. The thing just killed itself out. Well, that's somewhat convenient. Why don't I do this first? Because I want to get the thing to be full mana first. Before we cast. Because now we can go for it. And now we can Stubble Weaver and he's dead. Oh, do you have spell reduction? No, never mind, you don't. Thought I did for a second. I was gonna say, I don't think any of those had it. Yeah, I still need to make like an updated... Whenever we finally get it around to making the Mythic tier list video, I think the very next video I need to cover, as far as like not the normal stuff we cover, is like an updated video on like everything that has happened in the last 5 years to Gems of War. Because I feel like a lot of people who come back, or even just newer players in general, might feel a bit overwhelmed. Because the gameplay loop for anyone who's been playing for a while is pretty straightforward. But if you're looking at the game at everything at once, I guess it can be quite a few things simultaneously. As there are a lot of moving parts. But I do feel like Gems of War is super easy to catch up in. Due to how most of the mechanics work. I should have just taken a skull there. Oh yeah, you do have spell reduction, don't you? Even more of a reason why we should have taken the skull, because that would have been in kill range then. Because it would not have had reduction to our skull damage there. Yeah, Leprechaun's really weird. Because in theory, he should be super easy to get because he's an ultra rare. But you can get ultra unlucky on it. I remember when I first started the game in Gems of War, the absolute meta was to use Alchemist, because back in the day, it used to cost gold to do any battle. So you could eventually run out of gold and not be able to battle anymore. That was only applicable for the very first year of the game. However, this basically meant you needed like a gold farming troop, and at the time, at least when the game launched, the only way to do that was Alchemist. I had every ultra rare in the game at the time before I had the rare of Alchemist. I got so absurdly unlucky on it. And it was the most useful thing in the entire game to own at the time. Until Valkyrie came into the game, and then it was that because you needed that to soul farm. Because it basically made soul farming like 10 times more efficient, if not more. Alright, there we go. We're out of battles. Hey, we're about to get a magic bonus, too. These bonuses, unlike some of the other modes, is applied only to yourself, by the way. Getting more of these bonuses do not apply them to your guildmates. It only applies specifically to yourself for the duration of the journey event. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Demidor is almost going for 20,000. Nice. Getting the achievement this week. Anyways, that's it for Journey. Let's go clear out the basic dailies. Then we'll go hand out a code, and then we'll probably mess with Journey for the rest of the time. And then whatever time we have left, we'll go get the crowns. Just to make some progress on that. Alright, first things first. Adventure board. I already did that. Okay, next. Let's go do dungeons. Anything in here? Oh, nice. Not nice. Oh, not nice. Oh, it's only Curse. Curse Poison does nothing. Alright, let's bring out the Zolgoth. Yeah, Curse Poison we don't really care about. If you can get an Orb of Minions, you can get Kakarot to power level 21. Nice. Yeah, Orb of Minions, unfortunately, really rare. Major Orb of Minions is a 1% drop on Major Orb. And the minor one is 2% on the minor orb. So you're dealing with a 1 or 2% drop. We have gotten a couple of them. I haven't used that many of them, oddly enough. Mostly because I'm mostly saving them for cosmetic pets, and honestly, whenever you upgrade them, doesn't really matter too much. I also don't feel like we're going to get locked out of a kingdom anytime soon on stars based on pet. But I've kind of been holding them in case we do. Because it is still possible that you end up needing a cosmetic pet in order to finish out a kingdom. This hasn't happened too often in the history of the game, but it has happened before. Where you basically require having a max cosmetic pet in order to get the upgrade. Also, if we're not careful, we're actually going to lose here. Who could have guessed? Rowan is strong. Let's see. It's not going to hit us that hard here, though. Ooh, double skull's not good. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, because it's frozen. I was like, wait, why didn't you take the other skull? Alright, one more skull, we'll take it. Let's just hope we get lucky here. We did. Awkward fight, but hey, it came through. Alright, one down, or two down, one to go. Then we'll go hand out code, then we'll go do all faction, and then the only other thing we'll have is a little bit of crowns. That is one daily I don't care for, though. Like the 10 crown thingy. I wish I would revamp that in some way. The main revamp I would love for them to do, which I've mentioned like almost every single time, is, though they're probably never going to do it, they need to weigh all 10 crowns evenly. The fact that the final one takes so much longer is very annoying. Like, as easy as the first one is to get, all 10 of them should be that easy. Oh, that is not how they work. Hey, we got the Lucky Devourer. Should you open a bunch of keys when the mythic is out of the drop table? Yes, I would. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that in the video. I did post in the pinned comment though. But yeah, the mythic is still available for the next few days. I would advise, especially if you're just coming back and don't have that many mythics, I would advise opening your keys when a exclusive mythic is not in the drop table. That way you can get a variety of mythics rather than guarantee getting the new mythic. You do eventually reach a point where you'll always want to go for every new mythic. But I would advise having at least 1/3 or half the mythics in the game before you always go for whatever the new mythic is. Because prior to then, it's more value just to go for the wide drop table of mythics than it is to go for every new one. And then at a certain point, you can do a mix of both. And eventually, once you have like 2/3 or more, you pretty much only ever go for new mythics and get the other ones through like event keys and diamonds. Because it's just a like, once you have so many of them, the likelihood that you're going to get a repeat is so high that you tend to not go for the wide drop table. But if you still need most of them, it's better to go for the wide drop table than the one that will give you a guarantee one. Because eventually, the reason why you always go for every new mythic, even if they're bad, is it's better to get a mythic you don't have than a repeat of a mythic you already have, even if it's a good mythic. Just because there's very little use to have more than one of most mythics. There are a few exceptions, like for example the one in the campaign pass, which currently is impossible to have more than one of. This is actually one that would be interesting with two, because of the magic reduction with stack. Also, of course, gem spawns with stack as well, so you could feed the brown mana from one to the other. But like something like this could be interesting to have two of, but generally speaking, you only ever want one of most mythics. Anyways, so where were we? We could either do crowns or the other thing. I guess we'll go do the actual event. We covered the videos and the team we just covered about an hour before this stream. A little bit late this week, but hey, it's out there. But we're mostly just running double Rowan. So let me go hand out a redeem code. Go clear through this. And then we'll end on the crowns then. Yeah, we've been having a lot of events this week. Last week and this week. They've really brought out everything. That's one thing that's been kind of weird about Gems of War over the years. Also, there's the redeem code. Use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code will be found in your settings menu. Redeem code's right over there in chat. And give the same as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. And definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Help us all out and is greatly appreciated. But yeah, one thing that's been kind of weird is Gems of War generally has 2 types of weeks. One week where literally nothing is happening, and other weeks where literally everything is happening. Last week and this week has been those weeks where literally everything is happening. Then in like a couple weeks from now, like after the Lunar New Year event ends, like we're gonna have a week like immediately after that where pretty much nothing at all is happening. Like we're not gonna have any events going on. Like every event would have ended. It's gonna be like almost nothing in that entire week. After having multiple weeks of a bunch of stuff happening. That's one thing they never really got in their scheduling perfectly correct, is the pacing of events. Because they tend to all get clustered a lot of times. Because some of them run on set schedules, like Guild War, which is once every 4 weeks. But sometimes that coincides with other events that are all going on in a given week. And they just have like a billion things going on, kind of like last week. If anyone has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Yeah, at this point we'll just grind down the faction. And then go get our crowns. Mostly just grinding at this point. Oh, also tomorrow I will finally be finishing Hollow Knight. For any of you that are interested in that. Or assumably finishing it. It seems like we're close enough to finish. And I wasn't able to stream Fall Guys today, but we'll be doing that on Thursday. And then we'll try some other new game this weekend. Not sure which, but we'll do something. Because I've been wanting to play a lot more new games this year. I have such a backlog that's been growing forever. And it won't get any smaller if I'm not playing them. So making this the year, we finally kind of catch up on that stack. Or at least attempt to. Yeah, I know a lot of people tend to use our streams as this background noise. Let's take this blue. If it'll let me, not quite. Come on, I just need one single row in. Have you tried that new game, Ring Fit Adventure? I know, right? I actually have not played it yet this year. I have been exercising some, but I have not been doing Ring Fit Adventure. The biggest issue right now is I still need to organize a few last things in my room. As I still have some of my storage boxes like in the middle of my room. And I can't really exercise in my room because of that. Like I could theoretically still play Ring Fit Adventure, but I would not be able to stream it while playing it. Because there's just not physically enough space in my room right now to do it specifically here. I would have to do it in the living room, and I have no way to stream within my living room. Because that'd be too far away from my whole setup. I have no problem, Isabel. Have I done the dungeons? Yeah, I already did dungeons. We hit a trap, unfortunately. Eventually, we'll get it all. I have no problem with Demidora. Let me go set the armor before I forget. We're not deep enough yet that it'll matter. But, we're going to be. Oh, no. That journey event we already finished. Let's see. Or we're going to be by the time we look at it. The guild will get the rest done. Also, faction event loot on Tuesday is definitely a lot more enticing ever since they buffed the orbs. They were starting to fall off a little bit, seeming like they were almost not worth it if you had like so much resources. But now that the orbs actually have something enticing in them again, they're actually kind of exciting. Because that small like 2% you get a pet orb, that small 5% that you get basically a Nisha medal. It can only be used for the bronze level. That's something I hope they actually add in the future. I hope they add a way that we can upgrade the bronze glories to silver, the silver glories to gold, and then that's it. Because there's no way to go higher than that. Because we will eventually reach a point where we bronze medal every mythic in the game, but then still have bronze medals remaining. Of course, the next logical step would be just use them on legendaries. But of course, their value on legends would be substantially lower than on a mythic. And even if you did that, once you do all legends and mythics, then it's like, well, I'm not going to use it on an epic. So it'd be a great time to go upgrade them if there was ever a way to do so. Currently not a feature that exists, but may eventually. Because there'll be a lot more demand for it once people start to actually get everything maxed. People are far away from doing that, of course, since that update just happened like last month. But give it a year or two. People will get to that point. Orb of Wisdom feels like every time. Yeah, the orb drop table was updated. And there's like a full post on it on their website. I have it on the orb video that we covered about a month ago, where I went over like all the orbs in the game. There's a link to their website that has like the official drop tables. And orange orb and green orb are very common. With the updated value, they still make up more than half the drop table. Even with the updated drop table. So getting one or the other is over a 50% chance. You got a perfect today? Nice. Congrats, Supernova. We were doing really good in December on perfects. I got more perfects in December than every other month combined since the new dungeon system. I think we got like 5, 6, 7 perfects. Yeah, counting every other one of every other month, I think it was only like 2 or 3. Or dislike it until Tassa gets 1,800. We're working on it. Slowly but surely, we will hit level 1,800. We're trying to hit it by the end of this month. And if not by the end of this month, we'll hit it by sometime in February. Soon, TM. We're getting there. Wait, how do you have half a blue orb? Of 1,241, nice. Yeah, level starts to slow down a bit once you get to that level. Like, you really start to notice it at level 1,100. Then really notice it at like 1,300 plus. He's getting to level 1,000 is pretty quick. Then it starts to slow down a little. And like a couple hundred later, it gets like leisurely slow. And only gets slower from there. Because EXP has quite a diminishing return with how the curve is. Like, you're still getting the same EXP, but the amount of EXP you need goes up pretty substantially over time. It's a very steep curve. Oh, you were talking about major orbs. Okay, that would explain it. I was going to say, how do you have a 0.5 of one? Well, that also somewhat doesn't make sense, because don't you need 3 blues for a major blue? So it would either have to be 1/3, 2/3, or 3/3. I have no clue why I did it that way. There we go. Because I could have cast Thrall there, but I went for the gem swipe. Next time you know it, we'll be starting to stream as level 1,800. That'd be funny. We theoretically could do that if we were within like a couple away. Like if we were at level 1,779 or 777, I mean, or something similar, like 3 or 4 away, we could theoretically power grind so much before streams where we could be like, hey, we're level 1,800 now out of nowhere. But even that would take like 12 hours. Because how slow EXP starts to go. Not that you're getting less XP, just the amount that you need is more. It's kind of weird that they never show that number. I wonder if they're ever going to let us. Probably not. Mostly because it's such an intimidating, gigantic number that they thought it would probably be better to like never show it in game. What time will I be starting Hollow Knight tomorrow? I want to try to do it at 10, in case I'm underestimating how much more content we have to do in the game. Because I'm not sure how long the stream's going to be tomorrow. And I'm considering starting at 10 because I want to finish the game, or at least, you know, like whatever the basic completion is. And for all I know, we could be 3 hours away, we could be like 10 hours away. So I figured we started a little bit earlier. Because from what I can tell, we're pretty much near the end. We got to get like the third mask thingy. Then there's probably like some kind of boss thingy after that. And I can't really think what would possibly happen after that unless we're going for completionist stuff. Overall, the game's been pretty fun. Definitely not like my favorite game out there. Though I do have to say, the strongest suit of it is definitely the boss fights. Like, if they just made a game like that, that's literally just all bosses, I'd probably like it more. My least favorite part of it has definitely been the map system so far. This is a slight issue of most Metroidvania games. But it's also, particularly in this one, just because you go so long in an area without a map. And it's really hard to tell your location in a 2D spot. Or, you know, in like a 2D environment. Especially when you can't visibly see a map. Like, that wouldn't be too big a deal if it was like all one zone. But because it's like multi-zoned and 2D and no map at a lot of times, makes it really confusing as to your current location a lot of times. Could also be that I just don't play 2D platformers that often. Because most platformers that I have played in recent times, they've almost all been 3D ones. Is Dragon Soul still our favorite troop? It's still pretty high up there. It's not really that usable in the current state of the game. But I definitely like its design and a lot of things about it. You're almost never going to see us using it because it's falling off like crazy. There's also not that much of a need this late in the game to get more souls. Like, there are still things that consume it. Like, for example, using metals to upgrade troops consumes a lot of souls. But now that we have things like those glory orbs, one interesting thing about glory orbs, which is not something I've mentioned too much when describing their usefulness, but one indirect usefulness that they actually have is they do not consume souls. When you use the bronze, silver, and glory orbs, they do not consume any souls whatsoever. Whereas when you're medaling them with actual metals, it consumes 10,000 and 20,000 and 30,000 souls, meaning 60,000 per troop, regardless of rarity. And that's assuming you're doing 100% chance. Whereas the orbs, they're also 100% chance, but they don't consume any souls. Like, you use 3 of them, and you're going to use 0 souls rather than 60,000. And 60,000 might not sound like a lot, but adds up very quickly if you're upgrading a lot of stuff. You do 100 of them, that's already 6 million souls. Which is actually kind of funny, because if you think about it, the bronze, silver, and gold glory medals, or orbs, I mean, they actually save you more souls than the orb that saves you souls, the green orbs. Because a small green, the maximum amount a small green can save you is 1,200 off a mythic, or in the most common case, 1,000 off of a legend from doing the very last level. And a major glory on a mythic is like, major green on a mythic is like what, 6,000, 7,000 souls? Let's even say 8,000. Like, let's say it's 8,000 souls. Comparing that just to a single small glory, a small glory orb saves you 10,000 souls. The silver one, 20,000, and a gold one, 30,000. All 3 of those values are higher than a major green. Which means the orb that's primary purpose is to not even give you souls is actually better than the orb that's sole purpose is to save you souls. It almost reminds me of the whole kind of situation where like normal gnome has like a 100 soul drop and a 500 soul drop, but the actual soul gnome has a like a 1,000, 2,500, 5,000. It's almost that exact same situation. Where the normal gnome is like a green orb. And the soul gnome is like a orb of glory. Or eventually they just add a much better method that like overshadows the previous method. You have 300 major orbs of growth, and 150 major orbs of wisdom, 50 major orbs of ascension. All your rewards and crafted, or not crafted. Yeah, they can definitely stock up after a while. There's currently not really much of a purpose for them. Until they add something that we can go use power orbs on again. Because that was actually one thing that made for a good sync. And I still don't understand why they haven't added more things to use power orbs on. Because that's a great way to sync every orb in the game when they go into excess, or at least most of them anyways, particularly blues. But they haven't been doing anything for it, so not sure what their game plan is on that. Like, sometimes they release content too slow relative to the amount of loot that can be accumulated. Because even on a casual level, if you were only playing for, like, let's say, like, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day, and that was it, and nothing more, you would still have way more loot than the rate at which they add more content to the game. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it allows people to catch up as well as, you know, having excess. But it does make it so some of your stacks get way too big over time. If they don't ever eventually add a proper sync. Because for some things they do. I feel like in the current state of the game, like, there's a healthy amount of gold sync and a healthy amount of soul sync. I feel like most every other resource in the entire game doesn't properly sync itself into various resources, though. Only gold and souls are handled pretty well in the current state of the game. And I guess technically the whole key system. So like gold, souls, and keys are like the three resources that I feel like are fine as far as their accumulation relative to how many syncs they have. But almost every other resource in the game doesn't have a correct balance for it. And that's actually one of the reasons why gold and keys work so well together too. Because most gold actually ends up ultimately becoming keys. And then those keys become mythics, and that's like the main cycle loop for them. And that loop works perfectly fine. And Souls mostly just has enough syncs that it doesn't really matter. Like, it has the entirety of Soulforge. It has upgrading troops in general for levels, but it also has the whole Elite Ascension. So that has a perfectly fine number of syncs. Just most other things don't. Or if they do, it's one that's, like, not as worthwhile. Like, for example, you could theoretically dump all your glory into glory keys. But that's not necessarily needed, especially with all the other keys in the game and everything like that. Or it's like it technically has a sync, but you don't need to engage with it a lot of times. Because glory gets consumed really slow compared to everything that you have to use it on. On a weekly basis, you can spend 1,800 to get those 10 event keys. You could buy the event troop to max, which is normally like 10-ish thousand, give or take a little. And that's like it, unless you're going to spam them on glory keys. Which means, on average, the max you could really spend is like, what, maybe 10, 15-ish thousand of it per week? When during a single vault event, you can earn that in like a single day, not even. Not even to mention all the other glory you'd be getting over time. Also, almost every stream we've done in the last 2 weeks, because they have so many more events going on right now, has actually taken us an hour and a half. Because normally we stream for about an hour. And even tonight it's going to go a little bit over. Because after this we got to go get the 10 crowns, which takes about 10 minutes. And that'll probably be the last thing we go for then. Oh no, Submerge! How could he? Luckily unsubmerged now. Had longer streams, let's go. Yeah, some people would love if we streamed a little bit longer. I used to do those longer, like 6-hour streams on Friday and Saturday. We eventually stopped them though. It was originally 6 hours, and it was eventually like 3 or 4 hours, and then eventually we just stopped them completely. And now we just do the one every single night for like an hour or two. I do feel like in the current state of the game, I can't play Gems of War for like as long of a session. Unless they add some kind of big content. For example, if they add treasure hunts, we are not doing a day-long stream, but potentially a week-long stream of treasure hunting. We said way back when that when maps finally get updated to be viable, that we would do a 12-hour stream of vault key grinding. And oh, another ingot. And there's a chance we'll actually try to do a whole week-long stream if it's actually good enough to do. We're gonna go all out. Let's see, ingots 64. There we go. Well, the problem is a lot of updates that they do don't have infinite grindable things like they used to. Like sometimes they do. Like the most recent one had orbs, so if you had a lot of vault keys, you could technically have done a bunch of vault keys, which is what we did. But a lot of patches don't have an infinitely farmable thing lately, which I wish they would do more often. They used to do that a lot more often. Though we're lucky if we get one patch a year where you can infinitely farm something. Like last year's, the main one for that was Explore 12, when they added the mimics. Like that was basically last year's version of it, which happened in March. So who knows, maybe this year's version will also be in March. Given that is about when the next update's coming. Anyways, where's my Dust Devil team? We're just gonna do this until we get everything we need. Which is just 10 crowns. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna do it. If it's going to be like multiple maps at once, or just going to be a rework to the overall drop table, or if they're going to do the thing they did for every other currency where they added an epic version of it, like an epic map instead of a standard map. Though I do hope you can convert normal maps to epic maps. I'm pretty sure you won't be able to, but I really hope there is a mechanic to do so. Because pretty much everyone has more maps than they could ever know what to do with. So I'm curious if they do, because I would actually give Glory a sync. There is a resource that Glory can buy that generally is considered not that worth it unless you're like really early on in the game. That could potentially be worth it with whatever update they're about to be doing to treasure maps. And that is, you can buy maps for only 30 Glory. Which in theory is actually ridiculously cheap. Especially now you can buy them 200 at a time. It is only 6,000 Glory for 200 maps. So if they had some kind of mechanic where you can consume 10, 25, 50, 100 of them at a time for better loot, that'd be interesting to see. Obviously, it wouldn't be that many times on loot. Like using 50 maps might only be like 5 times better loot or something. But that'd still be worth it. Like, I would spend 50 maps to get 5 times loot on a map. Especially if the drop table is updated some to include some better resources. Because the biggest issue with Treasure Map right now is it's set up in a way where it doesn't matter how good you do. It only matters how quickly you play it. Like, literally, mash clicking the screen gives you better loot than planning your turn. And they needed to do something that basically makes it the inverse of that. Where actually spending time to play the mode gives you more loot than just mashing the screen. That was mostly a result of speed increase. The speed increase to the game is the main thing that made treasure maps kind of weird. Because it essentially made treasure maps from a mode that you would play out properly to a mode where you just mash the screen until you lose or win, whatever way you consider it. Because currently it's better to stop at bronze chests and particularly green chests so you can maximize on how much gems and glory you get, rather than playing it out correctly. Also, I would love to see abilities be able to be used in maps. There's currently, like, no kind of ability to kind of offset it. That'd be a kind of cool feature to include. Because all of Gems of War is based on the concept of having, like, 4 casts that you can use. Yeah, when doing Treasure Hunt, there's, like, no ability that you can use. Like, obviously, they'd probably have to be one-time use only per map. That'd be cool if we had, like, 3 or 4 of them. That are, like, one-time use only that you can use during a map. Like, maybe one's, like, shuffle the board. One is, like, explode a 3x3 to get rid of, like, some gems you don't want. Maybe one's, like, literally just remove all bronze coins, or all the coins in general. Like, all bronze, silver, and gold coins. That would be really strong. Yeah, that's the other issue with it. You gain 0 class XP for Treasure Hunt. And a lot of gaugement for, like, how progressed you are on an account is, like, your hero level. Even though that's not the best indicator, it is generally the indicator that is used, as is the most public indicator of your account, is what your hero level is. So even though there is a way for a level, like, 500 account to have more loot than a 1,300 account, generally speaking, a higher level account would have more progress. It's one of the easiest ways to gauge progress. But you don't gain any XP from doing Treasure Hunt, at least currently. How many wins does it take for a class to reach level 100? It depends on what method you're using. You need 5,050 XP. You can get 2 XP per battle. So the lowest amount of battles you could do is 2,525 battles. And depending on method used, quickest methods can reach around 20 to 30 hours. The 2 quickest methods is to spam explore and just instantly quick kill it. And the other method, oddly enough, is doing... Well, there's a lot of dailies that give you 2 XP pretty quickly. Well, one of the infinite ways to gain 2 XP that is pretty nice is repicking low-ranked PvP. This can only be done in a non-Guild War week because you need your PvP rating to be super low. Like this low, whatever we're currently at, like 500, 600. But when your rating is this low, and you haven't progressed any of the ranks up, you'll actually get a lot easier opponents on your repicks. So as you can see here, we have like a 9,000 here, we have a 7,000, we have a 2,000, we have a 6,000, we have a 4,000. Like, when your rating is low, you get really easy things that you can just one-shot, and you get 2 XP for these battles. Like, I can go in here, one-shot this with whatever I want, like a Rowan Quick Kill or something, and I will get 2 XP. And that's actually the quickest way to farm XP in the entire game. It is somewhat luck-based, but you can kind of get past some of that luck by deliberately having a really low rating in PvP. This doesn't work if you already did PvP in a given week, though. Because you have to be low rating without having gotten any rating for the week. Which means ideally it has to be not a Guild War week, and it also has to be a week you have just not done any PvP yet. You could always lower your rank if you have gotten some, but you generally want to do it from a very, very low one to start with. Because it slightly changes your drop table if you go from like rank 13 down to back to rank 15 or whatever this system is for that. Like, you want to stay at the lowest rank possible without having gone higher. And it gives you a lot of easy fights. And with that method, I think it's closer to 20 hours to getting it max. Whereas most other methods are close to like 28 to 30 something. It definitely takes a little while. But luckily, the rate of new classes is only like 1 per year in the current state of the game. So catching up's not that bad. Like, something like an average of 28 hours per class sounds like a lot, but you get a lot of XP passively just from playing the game. And what is there right now? 36 classes, so it's still under 1,000 hours, which is still a lot of time, but... It's almost like maxing all your skills in an MMO. And even in that case, it's lower. I know Old School RuneScape. I'm pretty sure Old School RuneScape's still, like, I want to say 2,500 hours to max everything. Whereas Gems of War is still under 1,000 for basically their equivalents. Where's all the good moves? How about sacrificing maps for loot multiplier or something? Yes, that has been the suggestion by a lot of people. If they're actually going to do that or not is within questions. It is within question. Because for a lot of other currencies, they end up just adding an epic version without having a way for the other currency to transfer into it. But I'm curious to see what exactly happens with maps. Because that was one issue Volkeys and Epic Volkeys had when they first came out. There was no way, and still isn't a way, to this day, to convert Volkeys into Epic Volkeys. And there is a chance there will be no way to convert normal maps into Epic maps, or whatever system they do for it. I do hope old maps become useful, though, in some way, after that patch. Exactly so will be determined once it happens. How are we doing on crowns? I need one more. Oh gosh. This is why I somewhat hate the system. Like, we could be here for like 5 to 10 minutes just getting one crown. It's the only thing I hate about it. Like, everything else about it's not bad. It's just the RNG required for the very last one is very annoying sometimes. Because it's hard to gauge how long it's going to take. Because we could be here for a minute, we could be here for the rest of the night. No, just kidding. We could be here for like 10 minutes trying to find this thing. Luckily, hey, there it is. Okay, that's not too bad. But I was going to say, you theoretically could do it by only getting 9 crowns per day. But, oh no, I like getting them all. But it is actually possible to get all the important loot by only doing 9 per day, rather than 10. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, what do we get? I get herself the spider. Oh yeah, is the spider max now? Yeah, it is. Okay. It wasn't earlier, oddly enough. But now we have max spider and a bunch of useless loot. What's our next really big drop? Oh, an upgrade for the throne. Which I don't think that's the final upgrade, though. Though that is honestly the most useful thing in the entire pass right now. Is the spider throne. Unfortunately, free-to-play doesn't get it till like tier 45. They don't get their first copy. The paid side has the first copy at 5. But we don't get it maxed until, where is it? When do we get it maxed? Wait, do we actually need that one copy to max it? Which means we actually need to get to 45 to be able to max. Because I believe that copy is actually required to max it out. Because I believe we get 5 3 times on the paid side. But we still need that one extra copy on the free side to have 16. Which is required to max it. So yeah, the paid side gets it maxed when free side gets it the first copy of it. Which would be right there. Because even once we get the other 5 from right here, I believe we're 1 copy short, which would come in from the free side of this one. So at the same time free-to-play gets 1 copy of it, we get it maxed on paid side. So we both get it at the same time, technically. Because realistically, I'm not using it till it's maxed anyways. Though it honestly doesn't gain much of a benefit from being maxed compared to just being at lower. But I still didn't want to use it for Guild War just in case. So the next Guild War we might incorporate it, we'll see. Anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for now. We will be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 hour prior to now, or sorry, hour and a half prior to now, tomorrow. Aside from that, oh, let's go check the patch notes real quick. Let's see if they actually posted patch notes. I highly doubt it. If I had to guess, it was just, it's such a small patch that's not going to have patch notes. From what I could tell, that seems to be the case. Yeah. If there's no patch notes by now, it's definitely not coming. So it's just a mini patch that ended all the holiday stuff, it seems. Alright, that makes sense. Anyways, but yeah, tomorrow we'll go finish Hollow Knight. We'll be starting around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and finishing the entire game. How long that's going to take, I have no clue. But we're not ending the stream until the game is done. And even then, we might explore around a little bit in post-game, assuming there even is any post-game in that game. But I don't know, we'll have to see. And we'll go from there. Aside from that, I guess we'll do Fall Guys on Thursday. We'll probably have some video going up on Friday for Gems of War. And this weekend, we'll cover some kind of new game. I'm not sure what yet, but we'll figure it out then. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.